How's it going, everybody? Nick Eatman, Kyle Yeoman's with you. The draft is just a couple weeks away. And, of course, Cowboys have had some fantastic draft picks in their history. We're going to take a look at the top 10 draft picks in Cowboys franchise history, powered by Reliant. Nick Eatman, you get to make the list. So start us off at number 10.
All right, number 10, it comes with a heavy heart here just recently. The big cat, Rayfield Wright, passed away, but will never be forgotten. He was a guy that came out of Fort Valley State in the 7th round and didn't know what to do with him. A tight end, defensive end, ended up making him an offensive tackle. He played 13 seasons with the Cowboys. The first player, offensive lineman, to go into the Hall of Fame for the Cowboys. Was just a great player. So, to get him from a small school, late round like that, that was certainly a big pick. All right, let's go. Number 9. Troy Aikman hasn't been number 9 on any list ever in his life. If I was thinking about this clearly, he should have been probably number 8. But I put him number 9. In 1989, they had to get a top home run pick with the number 1 pick. They needed a quarterback. They got Troy Aikman. Some people say it was an easy pick, but it was also a slam dunk and a home run at that. And Troy Aikman, led this team in the 90s. So easy pick there. Number 8, Jason Whitton. Get a guy in the 3rd round that was going to miss 1 game in his whole 17-year career. I mean, what a great find. I mean, this guy was he was a blocking tight end. He was a pass-catching tight end more than anything. Did it all, and he played just about every snap. Just a great player for those Cowboys teams. All right, number 7. Bullet Bob Hayes. They got him in the 1964 draft, one of the greatest draft classes in the history of the league. They didn't know what to do with him. I mean, he could run. Could he play football? Yeah, he could play football. He ended up changing the game there. So certainly Bob Hayes gets on this list. So
through the first couple names on this list, you're looking at value, but you're also looking at production back and forth. And Bullet Bob Hayes was the value. He ended up making that 64 class one of the best of all time. Stay tuned for a video involving that as well later on. Now, what about recent memory? I haven't heard a whole lot of names that are active Cowboys. Anybody like that on the list?
Yeah, maybe the starting quarterback here, Dak Prescott. A compensatory 4th round pick. You get Dak Prescott. He comes right in, has to start when Tony Romo was injured, and the rest is history. And we're still figuring that out, just how great this pick is going to be. But there's something about being the face of the franchise of the Dallas Cowboys, and to get that guy in the 4th round, that was an outstanding pick. Okay, also face of the franchise. How about Mr. Cowboy, Bob Lilly? He goes in at number 5 on the list. Again, all this is going to seem kind of weird because these guys are number 1 in many people's hearts. Bob Lilly, the first great Cowboy player. They got him in 1961. He gets number 5 on the list. How about Emmitt Smith, number 4? 1990 draft, they moved up. They wanted defensive guys. But, hey, this Emmitt Smith still sitting here. Let's go get him. He ends up being one of the best running backs in the history of the game and the all-time leading rusher. Number 3, 1985, the Cowboys took a flyer. Thought maybe the USFL, the other football league, would fold. And if so, let's get the best player. They did. They got Herschel Walker. He ended up playing the next few years. Then they traded him for a bunch of picks and ended up kind of getting the dynasty in order there. Herschel Walker, what a great value for him. And then number 2, how about a guy from Sonoma State, Larry Allen? They got him in the 2nd round, also a compensatory pick. Ends up being arguably the greatest guard in the history of the NFL.
Man, you look at some of the greats amongst this Cowboys organization. You think of some of the bargain deals they got these guys for throughout their draft history. What about the bargain of getting a guy and then he goes away and then he comes back and then, oh, wait, he's at the top of the list, right?
Right. Remember that 1964 draft I was talking about? Roger Staubach, 10th round. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. They know he can play, but he's going to go to the Navy. He's going to be gone for a little bit. When he comes back, let's see what he is. Well, he ends up being one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL and led the Cowboys in the 1970s, the Super Bowls. They won a couple. He was a Super Bowl MVP as well. I think he's the greatest draft pick in the history of the Cowboys.
And some would argue the greatest player in the history of the Cowboys, and they did it late in the draft. They had him go away to the Navy, served our country, and then he comes back, and he's the captain of America's team. He's Nick Eatman. I'm Kyle Yeomans. That does it for Power Rankings. Top 10 draft picks in Cowboys history, powered by Reliant.